Chapter 1. The Inheritance. I never meant to return to the countryside. The city had its noise, sirens, traffic, the hum of 1,000 restless lives. But it was a comforting sort of chaos, predictable, human. When Uncle Abram's lawyer called to tell me I'd inherited his old house near Darrow Hollow, I almost laughed. My uncle and I hadn't spoken in 15 years. He was a name mentioned only in whispers during family gatherings, a man who had grown strange toward the end. I signed the papers anyway. A free home was a free home, and my city apartment was already suffocating under rent and routine. The train ride north took most of a day. By evening, mist clung to the rolling hills like a living thing, pale tendrils curling around the station platform. A single taxi idled by the curb, and the driver gave me a look I didn't understand until later. "You sure about the Moore place?" he asked as we pulled onto the dirt road. "Folks say the house don't sleep," I smirked. "You mean it's haunted?" He didn't answer. The road twisted like a serpent through the woods, the trees bending toward the car as if eavesdropping. When the house appeared, it did so abruptly, a hulking silhouette against the fog, its peaked roofline jagged against the twilight. The structure looked older than the forest itself, its timbers warped with age, windows like black eyes that had forgotten how to blink. I remember the sound when I first stepped out of the car. Not silence. No, silence would have been a mercy. What I heard was a low hum beneath everything, a vibration I felt more than heard, as though the earth itself was whispering just below the edge of perception. The air was damp, thick with moss and decay. Inside, the house smelled of cedar and something else. Something stale, as if the walls had been holding their breath for years. The electricity worked surprisingly. The lights flickered when I flipped the main switch, casting long shadows down the corridor. Every room was full of Abram's things. Books stacked in towers, clocks without hands, furniture covered in dusty sheets. In the parlor, a large oil painting hung crookedly, a portrait of my uncle, his eyes following me no matter where I stood. By midnight, I had unpacked enough to sleep in the downstairs study. The wind rattled the shutters and the house groaned the way old wood does when it settles. I tried to ignore it, but just as I began to drift, I heard it. A faint tap, tap, tap from somewhere beneath the floorboards. Rhythmic, deliberate. At first I thought it was the pipes, or maybe a rodent. But then came another sound, a whisper. So faint I could almost convince myself it was the wind. Almost. "Elias." My name. The whisper slipped through the cracks in the floor like smoke. I sat up, heart hammering, listening for it again. But there was only the hum, that deep vibration I'd felt since arriving. I told myself it was exhaustion. The mind plays tricks in new places. I even laughed at my own paranoia before forcing my eyes shut again. But as sleep claimed me, one last thought echoed through my mind, soft and unbidden. What if the house really doesn't sleep?